Gooners, football fans, this is Shatta from the Uncensored Arsenal or live stream. So you hear a little feedback. Let me make sure that I'm not right. Thought I knew that where that was coming from, George. Had to shut down an app at YouTube that was running. So, guys, the dust has settled on the NLD. And since Sunday, there has been a massive outpouring, George. Joy and excitement. And we must admit, hype and over-exaggeration. I think capped off by our good friend Paul Merson, who came out on Sky and said after that performance, he's now convinced Arsenal can make top four. Felt that deserved some discussion today, George. What are your thoughts on the good Mr. Merson, whose predictions over the years are somewhat suspect, but he's a Sky pundit, George, a very important person.
Well, he's promoting his book at the moment, isn't it?
Is he? I didn't know he had a book out.
Yeah, he's brought a book out. I don't know
what is he? Was he came off the wagon long enough to write a book?
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's about. He's how many various problems he's got and how he's temporarily got over them. So he's all over the place at the moment. I couldn't believe it this morning when you got in touch with me to discuss something that Paul Merson had said. I mean, it's like, wow.
Well, George, actually,
I'm interested in Paul Merson. Honestly, he's as thick as fuck.
But George, actually, it's not him personally. It's what he represents, because this is a sentiment. I'm only using him as a segue. He represents, in my opinion, the hype in many quarters post NLD. Now we can conquer the world. And I really wanted you to give a serious answer to this. We are 10th, racing up the table, 3 wins on the bounce, and miracles are being worked. Are we really a top 4 team?
No, we're not a top 4 team. We're not a top 4 team. We're not a top 6 team. We're barely a top half team. I'm sorry. I don't want to look. I'm happy for people to be celebrating. I'm glad people are happy. But let's not read into it things that just haven't happened. We beat Norwich and Burnley, 19th and 20th respectively in the league. We beat Tottenham Hotspur, who played poorly, and all right, we played okay, but I think our XG was 1.3 goals. We scored 2 or 3 very low tariff XG goals. We won't get them every week. They went in on another day. None of them go in. We could just as easily have scored none. No, it's ridiculous that people are looking at that and seeing a great improvement. And yeah, we played better. And for the first 20 minutes, I thought we played well. But after that, no. Top 4, absolutely not. If they're so confident, get your money and run down to the bookies, because you'll get a really good price on Arsenal finishing in the top 4. And you can go skint with the rest of the country.
But George, I said this before, and I'll say this again. Arteta put out a great attacking team, 3 attacking midfielders. But, when I look back at the game, and the Premier League panel did some graphics I saw yesterday on Twitter, we had 5 people in midfield against their 4. And despite all of that, I went to SofaScore and I discovered that they had 53% possession versus us, or 47%. What does that tell us, George? I mean,
I don't think that tells us much at all, because once we got 3 up, possession was of no interest at all. So
correct.
I'd be interested to see the possession stats up until we got 3-0 up. That would be interesting. We were certainly well on top for the first 20 minutes. So I'm not going with that. Once you're 3-0 up and you decide that you're going to sit back and just hit them on the counter, possession doesn't come into it. You know?
Well, you're right, George. Actually,
if it's 0-0 or it's 1-1, and you look at the possession stats and you're 70% to 30%, you can say, well, they were the team dominating, but not when you're 3-0 up and you're sitting back. That's an irrelevant statistic to me.
Actually, you're right, George. In the first half, I just took a quick peek. If you see my head moving, 54% possession in the first half for Arsenal against their 46%. And in the second half, bring this up, we dropped to 38% and they went up to 62%. You're absolutely right. We didn't want any possession of the ball in the second half. But the point I want to make, George, is that I think that, and you know, I'm reluctant to say this because it might come off as sour grapes, but I think that Spurs played badly, and they always play badly when they come to us, by the way. But they weren't prepared for the onslaught, and I don't think this is the point I want to make here. Actually, I don't think that Brighton will be so accommodating on Saturday in their midfield play. Go ahead.
Well, this is another thing. We're worrying about fucking Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the position of the table is after 6 games, because apparently it doesn't matter that you're 6th after 6 games or you're 10th after 6 games, because your fan base will tell you, oh, it doesn't matter where you are after such a short period of time. But now suddenly Brighton are a good team because they're 5th or 6th in the table after such a short time.
It works both ways, George. It works both ways. That's your point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Brighton, for fuck's sake. You're not telling me we should be going to Brighton thinking that we're the underdogs. Jesus. We should be going to Brighton expecting a win. And I do expect a win because they're not a good team. They've got a decent manager and they've got some decent players, half of whom are out injured, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Including Bissouma, their star midfielder.
Their so-called better than Jacko midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not. I don't. They won't help us. But fucking hell, if they dominate us, there's something fucking wrong.
But George, Jacko will be out for 6 months. I saw at
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
And that would be a grave loss because, you know, I've been watching and listening to all these people, and all of a sudden they discovered that Jacko is an important player. They had no place for him in the team on Sunday. But after his performance, and I felt he was very aggressive. In fact, that I think it's the second goal when he took that hospital ball off Ramsdale and started the counterattack. And he got in the faces of the Spurs players quite a bit. I thought you discounted it, but I thought I thought he fouled Højbjerg, but I say fuck that. You play to the whistle. But he got in their faces. The commentators on my stream was saying, hey, that's the second big foul by Jacko. He's gonna get a yellow. He didn't. You know what I mean, George? The point is, he's out. Isn't that going to be a big loss going down? And we're not previewing Brighton, but that is a big loss, isn't it?
For me, it's a massive loss. Because for me, he's our best player. And people might scoff at that, but I think he's our best player and our most important player. Certainly our most important player. We've got a completely fully fit squad, bar Jacko.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the last person that you wanted to get injured. But we'll see, won't we? We'll see how we do without him. We'll see whether he's such a good player or such a bad player, because we're going to be 3 months without him. And I'm I'm absolutely furious that there are people who are happy that he's got injured and he's going to be out for 3 months. It's frightening the level of ignorance in our fan base. Absolutely.
I saw you call one a fuckwit today.
I did.
I don't. Well, you you don't. Yeah, you don't have a habit of using that word, do you? But George, I'm not even sure that was the about Jacko. I think it was something else related. But your comment is it's frightening because it's as if these people don't watch football. But I put it down to Jacko is proactive in what he does. And if he misses the ball, he gets the player. And these people then turn around and blame him. If he gets Jonathan Moss, he's going to get a yellow or a red for a missed tackle. And Moss will be doing Brighton, by the way. And they just use him as a scapegoat.
The thing is, people are saying, he had a good game against Spurs. Yeah, but that's not unusual. He almost always has a good game. Mm-hmm. And why they think this was a one-off when every fucking week we say it, Jacko played well, Jacko played well, Jacko played well. And occasionally he does something stupid like grab somebody's throat or put a tackle in that gets him sent off that other players are doing the exact same all over the fucking country and not even getting a yellow for it.
Exactly.
But no, it's Jacko stupid. So what you're saying is because you Granit Xhaka, because that's your name, and you play for Arsenal, you can't play and do the tackles that every other fucking player in the country is free to do without even getting a yellow. Or at worst, they'll get a yellow. At very worst, they'll get a yellow. No, it's mad. But Absolutely. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. With 3 months without him, he's the only player we're without, so there's no other excuse. Jacko alone is the missing player. Let's see how we go on.
There's
if we're going to get top 4, this should be a bonus because he's been holding us back, according to some. If we're already predicting top 4 with him in the team, we should definitely get it without him, shouldn't we?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm just using their logic. Of
course.
Or lack of logic. Footwittery, as I would.
Yeah, this guy was making some comment that the quoting Arsene Wenger about if you're used to caviar, you can't eat sausages, and Jacko is a sausage, and you had to lambaste him, which Anna correctly so. And, it's a typical clickbaiter, and he knows who he is, and I don't give up. I'm not pandering to these people, George, and I know you don't either, and I never will. And just in case they think that we're gonna demean ourselves for popularity. No, I'm not pandering to these people. It is immensely stupid, and all you're doing is seeking followers and the whole 9 yards. No, it's I'm too I'm too long in the tooth for that. George, the newest narrative is that Arteta is changing the culture, and we had this it's a big old article splashed all over Gunnerstown. I'm not calling the name of the guy. He's on Twitter. He's at No New Thing. Well, Mr. No New Thing, you're not new. We have seen you for 15 years. This is bullshit. But George.
No, Shotto, let me interrupt.
Yes.
Honestly. And this, I know I joke around a lot, but this is serious.
Yes.
I laughed at his tweets and I laughed at his article. I thought they were brilliant because I honestly believed it was parody. No, I'm not joking. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
George, I thought it was that
best accounts on Twitter because it was pure comedy genius. And it turns out it's not parody.
No, he serious. And it's going to be this is the first of 3 parts, George. We're going to have 3 of these profound pieces about the changing culture. Now, let me tell people what the change in culture at Arsenal has been under Arteta. The true change in culture is that you betray your players. This is a change in culture that we've seen. You hound out your best player because of a financial issue with the owner, and then you spend £250 million trying to repair the damage. That has been the change of culture. And I'm going to say this again. This will haunt Arteta for the duration of his tenure as manager of Arsenal Football Club. This is a law of nature. You don't do such a misdeed and it does not hound you. And that is why you have this profound effort to rehabilitate him. He's changed the culture, George. Can you ever heard anything so ridiculous? Footballers come to Arsenal because they want to make money and to promote their career. And they'll do that for the manager. They'll say any fucking thing to enhance their career and to enhance their bank book. Don't tell me that there has been a change in the last 2-3 years. If there has been a change, let me know, George, please.
Well, fine. If there's a change of culture, can we have the fucking old one back where we were fourth every fucking year?
Yep.
I'd rather have that culture, me. Wouldn't you? I'd rather have a culture of lazy players who do what they fucking like and go where they want on the pitch and don't adhere to tactics and get top four every
exactly.
Fucking that's what we're fucking saying. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden we've got this great culture where they're all working together. Nobody says a word. Nobody moves out of place. Nobody fucking strays into an area of the pitch that they shouldn't be in. And we're fucking 10th and we've been 8th twice. It's fucking great. What a
good change of culture for you.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's like, what the fuck are people looking at? But I try to understand, you know, what people, they used the excuse that the culture was wrong for us not winning the league. And so they've accepted that their bullshit was true. Mm-hmm. So now when they change the culture, that must improve us, yeah? But the facts are, it's made us fucking worse. It's not my opinion. 8th, 10th. Those are facts. We're worse, right? And I saw somebody today telling me on Twitter, oh, you fucking chump, why are you against Arteta? He's doing a great job. We'll get top 6. And I thought, fabulous. After 3 years, we'll get back to where we were when we sacked the last fucking manager. And
George,
that's an improvement.
And £250 million later. Don't forget that.
And the rest.
Right.
And the rest.
And, you know, the annoying thing is that there's lots of things that are annoying about this. But as you say, the change of culture has we have been out of Europe completely.
That's
the point I was going to make is that they like to vilify Emery, George. They like to vilify Emery. And this is what I want to make a point here. You remember in December 2018, Emery, we trashed Spurs 4-2. And it was the same frothing, the same hyperventilation. New era is here. And within a year, the man was gone. Can you at least hold on to your beer for a minute? Just allow
Arsenal back. They're all singing it. And that, you know, what happened? We sacked him. And he's done he did a better job than Mikel Arteta.
Exactly. Villarreal trashed us.
But also, you've got to remember that it's not all doom and fucking gloom.
Yes.
The fact is, in my opinion, Ramsdale, Lukongo, the Emperor, Ben White, who's the other one? Is there another one?
No, I think you've exhausted the new signings.
You
have Nuno Tavares, but he's a backup left back, George. You left that one out, but I'm not so sure.
They're decent, and they have a chance of becoming more than decent. Mm-hmm. So that's good. That is good. And to ignore that, to say everything's bad, you're just being as stupid as those who think everything's good. They have a chance of becoming good players for this club for a long time to come and develop. Oh, Odegaard as well. We got him. You got to throw him into the mix. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's a chance that we can improve, but it's to what degree we're improving. And we will improve with those players, but we'll only improve to a point where we're worse than what we were before it all started. And we're being asked to celebrate improving to a point where we're worse than we were when we sacked Arsene Wenger. How can that be a cause for celebration?
I can't. I am that fathom that, and George. This what you just said will apparently does not seem to hit people's, like, people don't understand that. Well, the results and we ended in the tables speak for themselves. I mean, we had under Wenger, I hear some people making statements. Oh, it was a total disaster. The last 4 years of Wenger, didn't we win 3 FA Cups? I mean, are you? And all of a sudden, that counted when Arteta won it. It counts when somebody else wins it.
Did we not? Not only that, but we won them playing like Arsenal.
Correct.
It was good to. I mean, can you remember that game with Chelsea when they just won the Premier League Championship?
Exactly.
And they were gonna walk all over us, and we absolutely thrashed them. We completely outplayed them from start to finish, and that's the difference between doing that and scraping a fucking win because we sit back and hope that Aubameyang can break away and score a goal. But anyway, a win's a win, as they say.
And
at the end of the day, when you look along, when you look up in the Emirates and see the trophies, the victory against Chelsea for Arteta is the same as the victory against Chelsea for Arsene Wenger. It doesn't differentiate in the style.
Well, I completely agree with that. But at the end of the day, if you are a football lover, you're going to say, well, let's look at the way you won. You know what I mean, George? At the end of the day, if you're a real football person and not just a clickbaiter, not just somebody who follows results, you're going to be saying, hey, we won in style. And that is why, the clubs like Madrid and Barcelona have this hell of a reputation. I don't think that we're going to change that mentality, but these people are opportunists. They are deceitful because they completely miss they completely deny that reality. Three FA Cups in 4 years, George.
I'm not sure they are opportunists or they distort reality. I just think they're stupid. No, seriously. You can't blame someone for being stupid. People are born stupid. I know some people on Twitter seem to work at it, and it's like a work in progress to get more and more stupid as time goes by.
Yes.
But basically, these people are stupid. They're not bad. They're not evil. They're not wrong-minded. They're just stupid.
George, you're wrong-minded. What are you talking about? If you refuse to deal with reality, you're wrong-minded because you're going to lead yourself.
Yeah, but they're not being deliberately wrong-minded.
Okay. George, but
it's stupid rather than the being.
I left you speechless. George.
What I'm basically doing is defending stupidity. So, I'm a champion of stupid.
Well, George, in this woke culture, you can't tell people that they're stupid. I'm amazed at that. But this whole thing is going to continue, and I anticipate this going forward. I don't know how long they can sustain this because there's a new culture, a new paradigm, all this ridiculousness. Hold your beer. Wait until the season's out. We're not even to 10 games yet. Can we say that? And I'm so glad that at least the fellow Morpay, when he was doing the Sky interview after the game on Monday, said, he wasn't carried away. He said, we are 5th or 6th in the table. We don't expect to be here. You know what I mean? At the end of the season. These guys are like, okay, we're 10th. We didn't expect to be in relegation zone. But come on. This is an excess. This is worse than Merson on his best day. Okay, George. Well, I think we have
we'll wrap it up.
Yes, we have probably done all we can on this subject. I know that well, let me leave it to the fans to say what they to say something about what to comment on this. Thank you, George.
All right, see you next week.
No, George, we are Friday, our preview. Oh, don't you forget. All right, George. Thank you very much. And guys, remember to like and subscribe our to this channel. Have we missed the mark? Are we living in the past? Have we not been brought forward into the new culture? Thank you, George.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.